I'm not a Lando Norris fan, but the thing that Lando Norris did today, which was important, was he maintained his lead at the start. I promise you, if Verstappen had passed him, Verstappen would have won the race by 6, 7 seconds. And the reason I say so is because Norris won by 28 seconds, but Verstappen beat Piastri by 20. So it goes back to the holy grail in Formula One now. Clean air is king. So what I'm saying is that if Verstappen had gotten ahead of Norris, everything would have unraveled. Norris had a brilliant start, so I'm going to give him credit for that because what's going to happen is once you get in the lead these days, especially that's a hot track where you have to watch your tires and there's a lot of dirty air and the track is hot. If he hadn't come out of the first lap or even the first corner ahead, he would have lost marginally to Verstappen, and this race will be over. Also, he almost crashed into the wall, and the race would have been over. Now that I've gotten that over with, he did a very good drive. He managed to keep his composure, but I think it drained him. You can look at the end of the race. I don't think he has what it takes to do the next 8 weeks and be a champion, but we have to say that he did well. Let's go to Verstappen. Brilliant job. Up to FP1 and FP2, Red Bull was rubbish. Verstappen was continually shouting at his mechanics. And then in Q3, no, in Q2, he said, "Oh, this car feels good." And he relaxed. He said, "This car feels good." Once you see Verstappen relax like that, it means he now knows the car is hooked up. Brilliant by him. He brought that car from the jaws of death and took it to second place and minimized damage. He's 52 points ahead. I was thinking he would be 28 or 30 something points ahead this week because I was thinking he would come sixth. We're going to talk later about what happened to Ferrari. Because Ferrari disappeared, Verstappen still has a chance to win.
In terms of what Lando had to do to just stay up front and do
Yeah.
as best as he could, he sort of covered himself.
Yeah.
He bought himself enough time to even allow him to make mistakes
Yeah.
that were
He
not
almost
there because
if
he
Lando had
could have.
hit the wall, can you imagine what Cameron would have said tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah, we can
The-
imagine that. But
he
but
doesn't
yeah,
have
and
the minerals. He doesn't have the minerals to win at this level.
yeah, I think Max definitely found something in the Red Bull.
Mhm.
Like I said, he was really handling the corners. Like, I mean, he was not complaining about turning,
Yeah.
and those
Well,
were
see,
the
yeah,
even in the last lap of qualifying, that's where he was faster than Lando.
yeah.
So he was handling corners very well
And also,
and
he
very
did the same
confident,
thing he did to
which
Lando last time.
yeah,
Verstappen knew
which
that he
is
couldn't
where
come first, and he didn't push the car too hard because he has to save his engine. I think he
yeah.
and also I'm saying sorry to cut in front of you. Verstappen has become very stoic the last couple of weeks. He's accepting whatever comes now, and that even after the race, they told him that okay, this guy is closing into your lead, and he said that's okay because I wasn't expecting to come to this place. He said, but also things can change anytime. So that's sort of philosophical. So he's aware of the fact that Formula One, if you look at the past 4 weeks, unpredictable. Everybody thought Ferrari would win this week.
Yeah, no, there has been that change in mindset that the last couple of races have sort of pushed him to be in, as
Yeah,
opposed to the Max that we saw panicking before Miami,
yeah,
whenever he would have to fight to win the race. So he's come to be a little bit more relaxed now. I
yeah,
think I think everybody else is sort of like settling into their paces as well, with
yeah,
regards to how much they've raced thus far. I mean, they've been racing for a while now, so they've begun to come down and settle into what the cars are
yeah,
doing. So there is that level of acceptance that is coming, but there is also that push that's
yeah.
coming in, that saying you've only got six more races to collect more points.
Yeah, and they
So
have
you have
sprint races in
you have
some of these races too. Yeah.
yeah. So you have to focus, and you have to
Yeah.
buckle in.
Yeah.
Um,
I still
so yeah,
think this
so
guy is lacking focus. He even admitted it. They told Norris that you pushed too hard. That's why you almost hit the wall. And he even told the truth. He said, no, maybe I relaxed too much. He still has negative talk. You understand what I'm saying? He said, I think I relaxed too much. I'm not saying that he shouldn't talk that way, but it gives you a look into his mindset, you know. And
yeah,
someone said that, yeah, yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I think that happens when you're so far up front. I think this is what had gotten to Max Verstappen earlier on in the year. He
Oh
was
yeah, yeah.
beginning to
But
to,
not in
to
a
relax.
race though. When you're in front in a race, to
N-
But
yeah,
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 I'm not going to be
but
hard on this guy. That's a very difficult race. It's very
yeah,
hot.
yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
sweating.
So
They're doing 60 laps. Yeah,
yeah,
it's very hot.
and it seemed like everyone was waiting for the inevitable safety
Oh, there
car
was
that we
none,
used to
but there
see
should have been though. Yeah.
at
Uh,
Singapore, and it didn't happen. I think there was kind of like whispers of that with Haukenberg's puncture, and
well,
and
let
it
me tell
didn't
you why there were
happen.
no safety cars. Because who's that
Yeah,
guy? The guy that Haas just got rid of, Magnussen. Magnussen wasn't around. Verstappen may win one more race this year, and then that will be enough to help him win the championship. Because as we get to the faster cars, they will still have an event. They will still have good aerodynamics, but I think Red Bull has better
yeah,
aerodynamics.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Red Bull will win on tracks in which corners are not emphasized. So I think they will
Sure,
still.
sure,
I
sure.
think, but I still think it's. I still give Norris a 40% chance of winning the championship. He still has 40%, which is pretty
Yeah,
high. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's really getting close. I think it's going
yeah,
to go down more now
yeah.
to the human
But
element in
something
terms
tells
of
me that before this season is over, Norris is going to do a did not finish. I believe it, and I manifest it
yeah,
in God's name.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I even
Yeah,
heard it was.
I think
you're
it's going
trying
to
to
happen
jinx
though.
him.
I think it's going to happen.
You're
I'm
trying to
serious.
jinx him, but it's
No, but
okay.
I do think so because
I don't think.
I don't think he can handle the pressure. That's the truth. Even after the race today, he looked worried. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think
Norris.
he can
Yeah,
handle
yeah, yeah.
pressure.
But
Like,
yeah,
and it's sad
I
because he's
think
a better driver than Piastri, but Piastri has a better psychological makeup than Norris. Continue,
for
sorry.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of like what we're seeing in terms of the championship, how much Lando wants it. I think he's also trying to settle into his brain to say he has a chance at winning it.
Yeah, but he needs to stop with the
He's
passive
going,
aggressiveness and just focus on the racing.
yeah.
Like
I mean,
Verstappen isn't saying
yeah, yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I think all those guys have those issues. Even Verstappen has those issues.
yeah. But he
Um,
doesn't. But here's the thing. Here's what I believe about Verstappen.
even Lewis has
Sorry.
those issues.
Here's what I believe about
He was
Verstappen.
making
Here's what I believe
comments.
about Verstappen. Here's what I believe about Verstappen. I think he's like there's a general in the U.S. who never worried about what the other general was thinking. He just focused on his thing. I think Verstappen is so myopic that he doesn't try to play mind games with anybody. Verstappen doesn't. He doesn't play mind games, and he doesn't even care what everybody else is thinking or doing. He just focuses on. Norris is still concerned about other things,
Sure.
and the
Yeah,
thing about
yeah,
Verstappen
but
is that Verstappen is able to regulate himself. What I mean by regulate
sure.
is that he's able to, Norris, when you see him outpouring so emotionally, it shows that that thing is getting to him. Verstappen is able to, like now, Verstappen is probably somewhere at a simulator now. He's not even thinking about Norris at all. But Norris is thinking about a million things. That's what I'm trying to say. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think like I say, this is pressure that comes from you when you're at the front. Then you start
But
to
not
look
only that,
back.
it's also your makeup. Someone said it. I think
Yeah,
the coach, someone said that the
yeah,
great champions have emotional reserve. So like Senna, he can crash or he can win. He has a reserve. I don't think Norris has that reserve, and I think that's the difference. He doesn't have the same amount of serotonin in his brain. I'm getting scientific now. He doesn't have that serotonin, which makes people psychotic. Like Putin, you can spit in Putin's face, and he will never change his affect. I don't think Norris has that. If
yeah,
you told
yeah.
Norris before the race, if Verstappen said, "You motherfucker, I hate you, and you're no longer my friend," he will be thinking about that during the race. If you said it to Verstappen, he wouldn't care because he doesn't care about you anyway. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah,
But I believe
No, no,
one
no.
thing.
I understand what you're saying. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying in the greater scope of things and how things have been going, in terms of how Lando handled the race today, not
Oh, he
panic.
handled it
Uh,
okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that it, there is also that race of mental fortitude that is happening. And as I said even at the beginning about Verstappen, that there were times that he lapsed in his own mental fortitude when Lando
Verstappen
was
only
right behind
lapses
him,
mentally when
and,
he only
and,
lapses
and the,
mentally. He only lapses mentally when it's clear that he's going to lose, and then he lashes out. But
exactly my point.
but when he has a chance to win, he contains himself. Okay. Oh, my camera's off. Okay, sorry. When he has a chance to win, he contains himself. This guy won by
That's
30
it.
points.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah,
guy won
yeah.
by
That
28 points, 28 seconds. Once again, lovely. I don't think he can handle a dogfight. As long as he has a
but
really fast car, because he won even qualifying, he was zero point 0.4 seconds ahead of Max. That's big.
All racers get nervous in a dogfight. All of them get nervous.
No. Max
It's
doesn't.
nerves.
Max doesn't. Hamilton doesn't. Max
When
doesn't.
you're
Hamilton
racing
doesn't.
on the 10th of a second, you get
No,
nervous. That's
he
how
actually
Max has
definitely
crashed.
doesn't. And
That's
and
how
also, even if
Lewis
you're
has
right,
crashed.
even if you're
That's
right, it's
how
a
Lando
spectrum.
has crashed. All of
So
them
it's a
struggle
spectrum.
with these things.
So
Yeah.
here's the problem. It's a spectrum. All racers get nervous, but it's a spectrum. Nobody has zero nervousness. What I'm saying is Lando is around 70. Verstappen's around 30%. So
And
it's
he
not a
can
matter
still
of. So
lose
it's
the
not a matter of.
championship.
Here's my point.
Even with
It's not
that,
a matter that all racers get nervous.
Even with
The
that,
question.
if
No, I'm
if
going to disagree with you on this one.
yeah,
It's been
if
shown consistently
if
that Piastri has the highest level of mental fortitude on that team,
listen,
probably in all of F1.
if
So
Lando
you have to
beats
look
him
at the degree
every
of it.
race between now and the end of
Yeah.
and the end of the
It's very
season,
clear.
they'll
How
end
many
up
how many
level on
unforced
points.
errors has how
And
many unforced errors has Max had this year, and how many has Norris had? That's my last question.
hey, I haven't been keeping
Oh no,
count.
it's
Let me
just a
go
lot more.
back
I
and
think Max
let me
has
go
not
back
had
and
any
do my
unforced errors.
research. But I'm just
Max
saying,
and Piastri don't have unforced errors.
it's a race to the end
Yeah,
in terms
yeah.
of
But what I'm
mental
saying is that
fortitude, in terms of
what you're
how
saying
one.
actually what you're saying doesn't make sense. You can't say that everybody is level on the level of nervousness. What I'm saying is that Norris's level of psychological weakness is a lot higher than theirs, and it comes to play over the season. Norris should be leading this championship by 30.
I don't dispute
Okay,
that.
so that's it. So
But he's
well,
still in a
it's
mathematically.
irrelevant. Then that means it's irrelevant. Then if every driver gets nervous, it's irrelevant if there's a hierarchy of nervousness. That's what I'm saying. And the hierarchy is the problem with Norris because he's at the bottom of the hierarchy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're saying that he struggles with it mentally.
And he struggles with it to a point where it has cost him the
He beats
championship this year.
himself down every
No,
time
not only that,
he makes a
it
mistake
cost him the
and he
championship
does
this year.
something wrong.
It cost him the
that's
championship
fine.
this year.
But that
It
does
cost him the
not
championship. It cost him the
that does
championship this
not
year.
discount him from the possibility of winning the
Oh yeah,
championship.
possibility is not what
saying.
I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the actuality. The reason he's behind this year is because of psychological weakness.
Yeah. So basically, one thing I feel though is that Norris has been throwing away qualifying positions, but this particular race will give him a little bit of confidence because he has done it so much this season. Perhaps going into Austin, he will be more confident that if he qualifies well, he could actually turn it out to be a race win.
Do you know what the track is going to be like in Texas?
Austin,
I don't even know.
Texas.
My prediction is it's going to be either Norris will most likely win or Verstappen. I'll still put Norris as the favorite. What are your thoughts, Rato?
Yeah, I think McLaren still look good. It's either going to be Norris or Piastri, depending on how well they do, and of course, Verstappen is always going to be in the mix, trying to secure the championship. And yeah, we'll see how the US thing goes ahead. But I think
we have a 3-week break. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, I think in the grander scheme of things, in terms of the championship, it'll be interesting to see how the races pan out, because I think, like you say, Mercedes's inconsistencies can give them a good car maybe when they get to Brazil, and because Lewis is always comfortable there, they could win a race. Ferrari could even come back to take some points. The battle for points is going to be very tight. And this
Ferrari.
is where,
go ahead.
This is where I think, in general, more than even the mental state of a single driver, I think every team member has to be on the money in terms of strategy decisions that they make. They have to be on point.
Yeah, well, definitely Checo is, and this is why I say Verstappen is the greatest driver in the world. He's doing this by himself, without Adrian Newey, without a team principal. Red Bull has a rubbish team principal. They don't have Adrian Newey, and their car is rubbish. And Verstappen came second this week. And many times this year, there was a race where Norris was on his tail for 30 laps, and he held off Norris. This guy is the greatest driver. And I'm not being biased. I'm just going by what I'm seeing, what he's doing. I think, it's going to be close. But the thing you said, F1 is crazy. You're going to see Ferrari win some races this year. You may even see Mercedes. And I think that's what's going to hurt Norris, because Norris needs to win every race and hope that nobody else wins.
Yeah, sure.
And hope that nobody
needs to
else.
be in front,
and he has to hope
of
that other people beat Verstappen.
Yeah, sure. He has to be in front of Verstappen
He
as
has
well.
to make
And
Outscore
if he
him.
sure.
doesn't win this year, he's in
Every
trouble because my prediction is that
Yeah.
Ferrari is going to be the #1 team next year.